Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for Alien Romulus, which I don't have a physical copy of. I found out that it was on Hulu for my mom, and I decided to watch it. So, I wanted to catch this in theaters. I'm a big fan of the director slash co-writer, Fede Alvarez. I think he's an incredibly talented young man, despite his Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 or 2023 movie, whatever it was, being a piece of shit. I hated that movie. But his Evil Dead film I thought was fantastic. I really love and respect the guy. I think he also did the Don't Breathe Part 1. I don't think he did Part 2. But I haven't seen that. I've had everybody spoil it for me, so I'm just kind of taking my time getting to it. But visually, it looked awesome in the trailer and stuff. Anyway, I love Fede Alvarez, and I was really excited to find out that he was going to make an Alien film, even though I was one of the people holding out for years, like a decade, waiting for Neil Blomkamp to get a chance again to make his Alien 5, or whatever it was going to be called. Sigourney Weaver was supposed to come back and all kinds of crazy shit like that, and I was really excited for that. But Romulus looked sick. The teaser trailers we had for it were so vague. It was basically just the set designs in the film being shown with some eerie atmospheric sound design and whatever, and it looked great, and I was really excited for this movie, but I am not an Alien fan. Like, I gotta tell you this up front, to diss the franchise already before I even get to Romulus, this new movie. I'll give you a quick rundown of everything I feel. Of course, this is a Disney film, just in case anybody doesn't know, which explains so fucking much about Alien Romulus. Number one, not a fan of Alien. I think it's boring and stupid. I don't care how timeless it was at the time it came out. It's not that good now. It's just not. I don't like it. I don't think there's any atmosphere to it. Fucking boring. Aliens, with James Cameron directing now instead of Ridley Scott, it's an improvement. I don't love it. You know, like, it's fine. It's really, really fine and okay for me. Alien 3, David Fincher comes on board to direct it. He has denounced the film, he hates it, and I don't like it that much either. I think it's really, really, really okay, but as a non-fan, I can look at it and see why regular, hardcore fans even are so insulted by it and hate it compared to 1 and 2. Alien Resurrection. Loved it as a kid because of how stupid and wild it was. And growing up, it's trash. It's horrible. And didn't Joss Whedon direct that, of all people? Yeah. Alien vs. Predator, I liked. I saw it in theaters. Still have a small kind of enjoyment about it, even though it's been like 12 years since I've seen it again. Requiem, which is the second Alien vs. Predator. Horrible. Horrible. Prometheus. I love Prometheus. Probably my favorite of the series. I might get beat down for that, but that's just how I feel. Then we got Alien Covenant, which is fucking awful. Truly awful. Special effects were great in that movie. Kind of a sequel to Prometheus. Awful. I don't care that Ridley Scott directed it. I hated it. Thought it was terrible. Prometheus he directed too, but Prometheus I thought was really fun for how dumb it was. But now we're here, Romulus. And I don't really know what to call this film. Is it Alien 9? Is it Alien something else, less number-wise? I don't know. I don't think you care. I don't think I care. But anyway, I'm not a fan of the franchise, to be honest with you. I think the xenomorphs look cool. That's about it. I like the idea of the futuristic world, just like I do with Blade Runner, another Ridley Scott creation. But I think both are adamantly boring. Aggressively fucking boring. So, getting on to Romulus, though. Fede Alvarez, if anybody, could have made a great Alien film just like Neil Blomkamp could have. The problem that I run into, this script is so boring. The concept, the plot, it's a very slasher movie thing, but it's not really scary at all. It's not really atmospheric at all in that vein. Nor is it a super big action movie, even though it has portions of that in the film that aren't even that creative or fun, in my opinion. Not like James Cameron's movie Aliens. So, I'm already like, from the get-go, I was hoping this would be good. I thought we were going to have better characters than we had. Even if we didn't, it would have been fun to watch them die over and over again. We didn't even have that, in my personal opinion. Essentially, you have a young woman who is stuck on a planet with her brother named Andy, who is an android. Like the other androids in the other movies, like Michael Fassbender, Ian Holm from the original film, who has passed away. I don't want to get into that. There's a portion of this I could spoil for you, but don't want to get into the Ian Holm thing all that much, even though that's kind of a dead giveaway. But anyway, she, the young lady, and her brother are from a planet where apparently generations of families work in a contract for this company, kind of like an indentured servitude or slavery. And the company changed the rules on how often or how soon they'd be able to leave. They can't leave day of like they planned. They have to stay another 12 years. So she's upset about that. Andy is a robot, but he's represented in an old-fashioned, obsolete way as a robot, like he's not as good. But they treat that as if he's autistic in like a metaphorical way. But why? Why would you do that with this movie? Very strange. But okay, maybe you could make some characters out of that, right? I know you're thinking that if you haven't seen the film before and I'm describing it to you. I don't think that's how it went, but maybe you thought that's how it could have went, and it could have, but it didn't. That's the problem I have here. So they do nothing with that. These two get stuck in a situation where some people they know are going to take them out, needing Andy the android to break into somewhere illegal to steal some stuff, I guess is the most generic, basic way I can put it. And on this spaceship, it's abandoned, nobody's on there, it's coming into the atmosphere, so they hook up to it. It's a group of very young, diverse, boring people that have nothing worthwhile about them to say. Our main character chick is kind of interesting because of the stuff about Andy and how she considers him a brother, but he's really not. That stuff could be interesting. Maybe somebody will find more appeal to that than I did, but I thought it was dull, just like I do the Alien movies typically. So then, obviously, there are aliens somehow released, or an alien, I don't know, more one or two, I don't know, inside of this spaceship, and things go wrong. Face huggers show up, people get impregnated, people get attacked, people get killed, and I'm going to tell you outright, the practical sets look amazing in the film. Most of the CGI looks really good, aside from one person in this that I don't want to talk too much about, because it's a big spoiler in case you haven't seen it. But the practical effects, specifically the sets they built for this movie, they look fantastic. Every hallway, every door they pass through, they look amazing for this Ridley Scott type of world. There's no debate about that. I think everybody, even the people like me who don't like the movie, are 100% in agreement with everybody else about that. It's great. The music, the sound design, I wish it was utilized better because the film is not scary and it's not crazy action-packed with a lot of explosions or anything like Aliens was, like I said. So there's not really a whole lot in the sound design that I understand where people are coming from. Everybody keeps making it out to be this incredibly well-designed film for the sound, and I just don't see it. I don't. Even though I watched it on home release through Hulu, that's not the effect and problem here. It's just it's a little overrated. The whole movie is super overrated in my opinion, but that particular area, within the film is super overrated in my opinion. The writing of these other characters, they're boring. I'm sure the actors and actresses could do a better job. Specifically Andy the android. I think that actor could really do some cool stuff. I think they should bring him into like something really human, like the Creed franchise, you know? I think he'd fit in really well there as like a brother-in-law or something. I don't know. Let him be Tessa Thompson's brother-in-law. I don't know what to do with that, but I think he would be really good there and fit into what they're doing there and how much he tried to humanize Andy here as a character. But the movie doesn't give him enough to work with. The directing, the camera work, all of that's very nice. I like all of that. The xenomorphs, really, they look amazing. They're clearly practical designs and costumes and whatever. They look, again, like most of the practical effects in here and settings and all of that, they look phenomenal. They look very gross, very wet and slimy, you know? That's what they should be like. And that's great. That's a huge improvement for people like me that felt that way about the previous movies. That's awesome. I'm glad about that. But it's the movie around it. There's nothing there for me. It is what I've heard a lot of people like Rambo Rat for Life say on his channel. It's a greatest hits movie, very much like The Force Awakens for Star Wars. It's just, let's keep quoting lines. Let's literally basically remake the first movie almost entirely, except for the crew we follow. I'm cool with them making this into a slasher film. I don't need the same characters going from slasher film to slasher film within a series like Alien, because we've already been switching that up over and over again with very few characters making it from film to film. I'm fine with that. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I actually prefer that with these movies because of how dull they are. But there's so much you could do with these. You know, there's comics out there like Batman vs. Alien that is just fantastic. If you've not read those, you are missing out. They should just adapt that. They could make so much money, dude. You don't realize how good those would be just adapted to the big screen. They don't realize how much money they could make based off of the alien crocodile. I'm just going to leave it at that for you to know about that because it's awesome. They could make so much money off of that with fools like me out there and normies out there and stuff. But they choose not to do that. No, they don't. Fede Alvarez, I'm convinced the finale of the film, which finally tries to break away from the mold of just being a greatest hits movie and copying lines and whatever from previous films, he does something new that you've probably heard about. I kind of had it spoiled for me, but kind of not. It is awful. It is an awful ending, third act, whatever we're calling it, that I despise, dude. I think it is shockingly bad. It's almost in that Last Jedi vein, but like less so because it's in this stupid world of movies that I don't care about, you know? But if you do, then you might care about this more. But I think the third act of this is embarrassing, to be honest with you. I do not like the direction it took. I think there's a lot of people who feel that way. I think most people feel that way, even if they like the movie. That's just something to bring up, though. But that's really all I have to say about Alien Romulus. I think it's a massive disappointment. I was so bummed out with how shitty this movie is. The fact that people are raving about it, and the people defending it are trying to be like... The same thing happened with Star Wars, where people are like, well, they tried something new and you hated it. Shut the fuck up. That's not the problem here. The problem is how they did it, what they did to do what they did, and the greatest hits mantra of this movie that really shoots it in the foot to then do what they did at the end of the movie, to me. Man, I'm getting a dry throat now complaining. Jesus. Alien Romulus, I can't believe how bad it is. I would never watch this again, just like I won't the original film probably ever again until I finally give in to review it for you all, as well as the rest of the movies. But the people raving about this film, I do not understand where you all are coming from. I just don't. And that's fine if you love it. No insult to you. Because at least this is quality made, despite our differences of opinions and taste about this movie. It feels like it's part of that Alien franchise world. It feels like it fits into that. I think it even takes place between 1 and 2, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong about that too. It's not super clear for me as a normie to it, but it's got a couple of cool things, like I said, like the sets, like the xenomorphs, but everything from the kills to the acting are just shockingly rough, and that third act kills this movie, like I said. So if I had to rate Alien Romulus on a 5-star basis, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 stars. I was bored to tears. I thought it sucked. Just entirely. Not being a fan of the series already, I thought that Fede could really drag me into this, make me care about it, make me like it. It's awful. I hate it. I think it's almost unforgivable, you know? And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true, in my opinion. So, have you seen Alien Romulus? What did you all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Especially if you're a big Alien fan, or the series, or even just the original movie. I'd love to hear what you all have to say about it down in the comments section down below. I love sci-fi horror. This series never appealed to me for some reason, but this movie in particular, big disappointment. I was really hoping it'd be good, but man, it really let me down in so many freaking ways. I thought I would for sure be one of the people defending every bit of it because of Fede Alvarez, but hell no. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I gotta go get this cough over. God bless you guys. Catch you later, and goodbye.